YouTube, what's the righteous word? It's your boy Gangland Neem, aka Neiman, I before the E. Golly, I don't know y'all. Remember that. And we back with another video. So we got an interesting one. Shout out Big Chat Small World for this. On my live, I did the part 1 of the no jumper story. And this is part 2. Now I want to tell y'all this. This is 12 minutes or so, you know what I mean? This dude is combing through Grandmaison's lineage. A lot of y'all hear the word colonizer, culture vulture, this, that, and the other, but when you see it broke down like this, it just hit a little different. Kiwi Head or Adam Grandmaison or the 16 of Nashua, whatever you want to call him, right, comes from a long line of Grandmaisons throughout history. And those Grandmaisons have ties to the Clinton administration and everything else. I will let him explain this, but this is a interesting video. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, please, and thank you. We need that for the algorithm. If you could go to the top of the page, smash that Instagram link. Follow me on Instagram. Shoot me any content y'all want me to react to there. Also, join up in the Discord. Good people, positive vibes all the time. I can't tell you that enough. Smash that TikTok link to follow me over there for any content I post there as well. But this is interesting, man. I'm talking about, this is just crazy. And it for me personally, it makes me understand things even more. You know what I mean? With the way this guy's mind works and all that. It's like, we like, oh, culture vulture. It's much deeper than that. This shit is in his blood. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Let's start this content again. Shout out Big Chat Little World for this. You know what I'm saying?
It was hard surviving in the 17th and 18th century. Laurent Bory Dick Grandmaison was a sailor in New France, aka present-day Canada, in the 1660s. He married Margaret in 1672, and they had 3 children. But the date the family died is unknown, and the family line has since been extinguished. Pierre Portneuf, also known as Grandmaison, was born in Oleron, France, and came to New France a little after Laurent did. He worked as a navigator and a carpenter, and he got married as well. They had 2 children, but their branch mysteriously died and is now extinct as well. And Pierre's date of death, like Laurent's, is also unknown. Pierre Barbery, known as Grandmaison, was born in 1646.
Long line of Grandmaisons. I always thought that last name was different. Grandmaison, that just sounds like something diabolical.
In Thiviers, Périgord. He arrived in New France on August 18th, 1665, on the ship Aigle d'Or. Dior. At the time of his arrival, his profession was a soldier of the Carignan Regiment. The Carignan Regiment was a group of soldiers sent to New France by the French government in 16.
Run that back. That look like Adam right there. Look, that don't look like Adam right there. This don't look like Adam playing the drums. That don't look like, bro. That's crazy. Look at the features. Look at the side profile. That don't look like one of Adam's brothers or uncles or something. Sheesh.
By the French government in 1665 to help defend against the Iroquois, aka upstate New York, and assert French dominance in the region. Pierre married Marie Lebrun in New France, aka Canada, in 1668. They had 10 children, but this family met a tragic end on August 5th, 1689, during the Lachine Massacre. Pierre, Marie, and at least 5 of their children, the number differs according to sources, were captured, burned, and killed by the Iroquois, either on the same day or in the days following. Although this family met a tragic end, this branch still has many descendants to this day. There was one particular branch of Grandmaison that had much better luck. Martinique had a population of nomads before the Arawaks settled there in 100 BC. When Christopher Columbus landed on Martinique's beach on June 15, 1502, he was impressed by its beauty and fertility. He called it the best, most fertile, sweetest, most even and most charming country he had ever seen. He couldn't tire of looking at its lush greenery. Despite this, the island remained
This the nigga that came through and killed the natives. Pay attention.
ignored by the Spanish, who considered it of little economic value. However, the French later realized its potential and established a permanent settlement there. In 1635, the French established the Compagnie des Indes des Amériques to colonize the lesser Caribbean islands. The conquest of Martinique began with the arrival of Pierre Belain Esnamouk and his companions. However, the relationship between the French and the Caribbean population became hostile and warlike.
Of course, because you pull up to the land that they already inhabit. Natives of the land. Trying to conquer some shit. Pay attention to history, bruh. He's mapping it out right now for you. This is crazy. It's a long line, long lineage of colonization, exploitation. Pay attention, y'all.
Resulting in the expulsion of the Caribbeans from the island in the late 17th century. This led to the introduction of slavery, as the French settlers relied on the royal crown to enable the slave trade from Africa to exploit the island's resources. Black slaves were brought from Africa to work in the fields and in households. The economy was dominated by coffee production, but later shifted to tobacco and, most importantly, sugarcane. The Grandmaisons were known for their sugar plantation in Martinique. Let's talk about one of the earliest and most historically known descendants of the Grandmaison family, Eleanor de Grandmaison. According to family history, Eleanor was born in the 18th century in the town of Les Trois-Îles, which is located on the island of Martinique in the Caribbean. She was the daughter of a wealthy plantation owner and was herself married to a sugar plantation owner named Joseph de Grandmaison. Martinique began to get dangerous for the French. The British made several attempts to capture Martinique. The island changed hands several times during the 18th century as the French and the British fought for control of the Caribbean. It is not clear when Eleanor de Grandmaison left and ended up in New France, aka present-day Canada, with her husband and family, but they likely moved there in the mid-1700s, as Eleanor was already married and had children before leaving Martinique. Eleanor was a historically significant figure in New France. She was a landowner, a savvy businesswoman, and an active wife, leaving a very large offspring both in France and in America. Their descendants have gone on to form the World Association of the de Grandmaison. The British and French were constantly at war for territory. The first major British attempt to capture Martinique was in 1667. The British failed to keep full control until 1794 during the French Revolutionary Wars. The 1794 invasion was successful, and the island was occupied by the British until 1802, when it was returned to French control under the terms of the Treaty of Amiens. The 7 Years' War also affected New France, aka present-day Canada. The Grandmasons were allegedly soldiers and heavy funders for this war against the British. It's also said that the Rothschilds family and other banks were heavy funders for the war on the British side. New France eventually was taken over by the British. When the British took control in 1763, they did not kick the French citizens out of the country though. In fact, the Treaty of Paris, which ended the 7 Years' War and transferred the control of Canada from France to Britain, included a provision that protected the rights of French-speaking inhabitants to maintain their language, culture, and religion, which is why so many people in areas like Quebec speak French to this day. The Grandmasons' descendants by the 19th century were spread all around the world. There was one particular Grandmason family, though, who by the 1800s still resided in present-day Quebec. Amable and his wife Selena moved to Nashua, New Hampshire in the 1890s, where
who does that sound like?
Amable made great money as a molder. In 1907, they welcomed a son in this world, Oscar Napoleon Grandmaison. His middle name, of course, inspired by Napoleon Bonaparte, a French military and political leader who rose to prominence during the French Revolution and went on to become the Emperor of France. He is known to have reinstated slavery in the French colonies in 1802, after it had been abolished during the French Revolution.
So pay attention. His lineage comes from using black folks. Just throwing that out there. This is historical proof. The 16 of Nashua. That's wild. This is so interesting to me. That's why I don't really have much to say. I'm just learning. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is interesting as hell, and it just gives you a bit of insight to this guy's psyche. Because a lot of people are like, he's a narcissist, he's this, he's that. No, I just think he's what he is. A privileged Caucasoid. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? I believe he is what he is. You know what I'm saying? This is just showing you right now. Pay attention.
Oscar stayed in New Hampshire his whole life, where he married his wife, Irene Bochard. They each worked as a shoemaker and a stenographer, respectively. They made a great living, were very popular in the state of New Hampshire, and became staunch Democrats. They went on to have kids of their own, two of which were sons, named Joe and Philip Grandmaison. Joe Grandmaison was a highly ambitious kid, having already been interested in politics by high school. And 2 years after high school, he embarked with his father on a mission to put a Democrat in the governor's office for the first time in nearly 40 years. Grandmaison was just 21 when his candidate, John W. King, was elected governor, becoming just the second Democrat to hold office since 1915. Joe's passion for politics began at a pretty young age, said his brother Phil Grandmaison. He was only 25, maybe 26, when he first ran for Ward 7 alderman, and won. Joseph Grandmaison would go on to a 50-year career in state and national politics, serving as a senior governmental appointee under 3 presidents. Mike Dukakis wanted Joe Grandmaison to run his campaign for Massachusetts governor in 1974.
Up next, from Cambridge, Massachusetts, an interview with Joe Grandmaison, who was manager of the Dukakis campaign for governor in 1974. Part of our continuing series, A Look at the Next President.
Joe Grandmaison, now chairman of the New Hampshire Democratic Party, but also Michael Dukakis' campaign.
That's Adam's daddy, y'all. Look at that face. Look at that head. Look at big Kiwi head. Look at that. That's crazy.
Campaign manager during the successful race for governor in 1974. How did you meet him?
Well,
Dukakis was considered a political outsider at the time, but Joe's name was floating around everywhere among Democratic circles, and the two won by an upset. Dukakis became governor of Massachusetts. By then, Joe became quite the commodity to the Democrats. His deep knowledge and reputation as a people person served Grandmaison well in 1975, when he led the upset rematch Senate campaign of John Durkin against Republican Congressman Louis Wyman. In addition, Grandmaison served as an advisor to former New York Governor Mario Cuomo and led the successful U.S. Senate election of Frank Lautenberg of New Jersey. He was helping put Democrats in office, left and right. Joe's parents, Oscar and Irene Grandmaison, were staunch Democrats, and they funded, promoted, and volunteered for Democratic office runners any way they could. Joe's younger brother, Philip Joseph Grandmaison, naturally followed in his parents' and older brother's footsteps and became an alderman of Nashua, New Hampshire, and gained national attention for his role in helping Bill Clinton win the New Hampshire Democratic primary in 1992. He was a prominent supporter of Clinton's campaign and was instrumental in getting Clinton to make several campaign stops in New Hampshire. In 1994, Grandmaison was indicted on charges of mail fraud related to his business dealings, and he ultimately pleaded guilty to 1 count of mail fraud in 1996. However, in one of his last acts as president, Clinton pardoned Grandmaison in 2001. This decision was controversial and criticized by some people who believed that it was an abuse of presidential power. Some people believed it was an abuse of power because Grandmaison had been convicted of mail fraud and had not served his full sentence. Additionally, some critics saw the pardon as a political favor granted to someone who had helped Clinton win New Hampshire in the 1992 election. They argued that this undermined the integrity of the justice system and created the appearance of political cronyism, which it does seem unfair that he was able to legally help Bill win New Hampshire and not have to do time because Bill became president and was able to pardon him. It's like a cheat code. Heavy on the cheat. Joe Grandmaison went on to pass away in June 2022 at 79. With the passing of Joe Grandmaison, New Hampshire has lost a political legend, says U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen. His younger brother is still alive today. Philip Grandmaison went on to get married to his wife, Anne Grandmaison, and have 2 kids, born Sarah and Adam Grandmaison. 2 new generation Grandmaisons, born from a powerful family that has lasted in Europe and the Americas several generations, ready to follow in their ancestors' footsteps and keep the power of their family name alive. Thanks for watching.
Sheesh, that's crazy. I'll be honest with you. Everything that Grandmaison, Kiwi Head Grandmaison does seems even more diabolical, bro. When you just walk down his lineage, that is wild. That is wild. Again, this makes a lot of sense. When you look through all this, you listen to all this, it makes a lot of sense on why he moves the way he moves. But this is the thing. Is this like, did somebody plant him here in hip hop? These are just questions I have now. Did somebody plant him here in hip hop, in the culture of Los Angeles? We notoriously know how things go in Los Angeles. Niggas drop drugs, guns, all kind of shit over here. Be like, hey, we don't know where it came from. Sell drugs and kill yourselves. Just throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? So it would not be far-fetched to think that Kiwi Head Grandmaison is a plant. That he's here to make the culture look away. You guys accepted him. Welcomed him with open arms. I'm sure he has a spot at the barbecue, as y'all like to say. You know what I mean? Still get a bunch of goofy rappers who actually like to go up there and sit with him for what reason? Who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe it's the clout. You know, maybe it's the clout of the platform that he built, which was all intentional. This is diabolical. I'm going to just be real. This is crazy to me. Now, y'all comment down below and let me know what y'all think of this. Again, I thought this was super interesting. And just a bit of insight to this nigga's weird brain. You know what I mean? But if this is your first time to the channel, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, please. And thank you. We need that for the algorithm. If you go to the top of the page, smash that Instagram link. Follow me on Instagram. Shoot me any content y'all want me to react to there. Also, join up in the Discord. Good people, positive vibes all the time. I can't tell y'all that enough. Smash that TikTok link to follow me over there for any content that I post. But this here, man, this is wild. Look at his face. Kiwi Head Grandmaison, the 16 of Nashua. Ooh, that's a diabolical Caucasoid right there. Whole family been with the shits. Golly. Man, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Just watching all that, that was a lot. I ain't even gonna lie. Shout out Big Chat Small World, because he walked that down. It's gonna be a part 3, and I'm gonna be on it. Believe that. Believe that. Now, for anybody who's looking for any kind of marketing, promotion, growing their social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, contact @Drea_the_Virgo on Instagram. Again, that's @Drea_the_Virgo on Instagram. She's working with a bunch of different content creators Whatever you need help with, let her know. She could do it. She got a few different payment plans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't afford everything, so she do got different plans for different folks. Just inquire. Again, that's at Drea the Virgo on Instagram. Serious inquiries only. She's got tangible proof to back up all this. She's working with a bunch of different people. Their channels are growing. She's got people monetized. She's got people's backup pages monetized, thumbnail help, views, whatever it is you're looking for, she could help you with. Again, that's at Drea the Virgo on Instagram. But y'all comment down below and let me know what y'all think of the 16 of Nashua and his deep-rooted ties in the fabric of the nation. What are you doing here, though? Kiwi Head Grandmaison, 16th of Nashua. What are you doing here in our culture? Comment down below and let me know what you think. It's your boy Gangland Neem. Peace.